Greetings, my name is Kerry and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I might talk to you about some of the books on my Goodreads TBR that have the highest rating. I've seen a couple of people do this and I always find it quite interesting to see what people are wanting to read that's really popular, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I've gone through Goodreads. I ordered my Goodreads based on rating. I've excluded any that had less than 1,000 ratings because I'm kind of trying to get an idea of what the most popular books on my TBR are. So I wanted to discount any that had less than 1,000 ratings and to get an idea of some of the more established books that I should be trying to get to more quickly than I am, essentially. So all the books I'm going to mention have more than 1,000 ratings. I'm going to tell you how many ratings they have when I get to them as well. I was quite surprised actually at some of them. Really surprised at one of them, which I'll tell you when I come to. So this is the top 10 highest rated books on my Goodreads TBR of books that had over 1,000 ratings. So without further ado, because that's a long and overly complicated explanation for what I'm trying to achieve here, we're going to go into the list. So in 10th position with 3,132 ratings and an average rating of 4.36, we have The Twisted Sword, which is well, it says it's the final book in the Poldark series, but actually he wrote another one, so this is the 11th book in the Poldark series. I have 3 to go in Poldark. I need to get on with that, really. So this one, surprisingly, is higher rated than the 10th one. I don't know how many ratings the 10th one has, actually. I didn't look that up. But the Poldark series, if you're not familiar with them, they are set in the late 18th, early 19th century in Cornwall, following a fairly wealthy family, and their trials and tribulations and the associations with other families and groups in the area. So they're a mining family, or they own mines. I really love these books. So the first sort of 7 books cover one generation of the family, and then the final 5 books are the younger generation. It's their children. If you haven't read them, I really enjoy them, really worth a read. They have been adapted for TV a couple of times, most recently with Aidan Turner in the lead role. I do enjoy the most recent TV series. I didn't see all of the original TV series from the 80s. They obviously leave a lot out, and they changed a few, well, they didn't change very much in terms of plot, but they changed the way some of the characters looked, so some of the characters don't look as I would have pictured them. Anyway, that's going into too much detail. So this is the 10th most popular book on my TBR with a rating of 4.36. In 9th place, this was one of the ones that really surprised me because I didn't realise how popular it is, but since then I've looked at its original publication date and it kind of makes a bit more sense, because a lot of these books actually are older books. So this is a book called Rees Howells' Intercessor by Norman Grubb. What a great name. This book was actually given to me a couple of years ago. Rees Howells founded a Bible college in South Wales near where I used to live, and I think this was a reprint. This book was reprinted around the anniversary of the Welsh Bible College, and that's when I was given a copy. So it was originally published in 1952 and has been reprinted many, many times. So it obviously has built up quite a following over the years. So it has 2,933 ratings and it has an average rating of 4.40, which is pretty good, really. So in terms of rating, it comes 9th in terms of how many ratings it has as well for the books considered on this list. So this is a biography of the chap that set up the Welsh Bible College. There we go. In 8th place, with an average rating of 4.41 from 222,057 ratings, we have The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. This is a book I've been meaning to read for a really, really long time, haven't got around to it yet. Corrie ten Boom's family, they were a Dutch family during the Second World War, and they hid many Jewish people in their house and helped them escape to safety before eventually they were caught and taken to a concentration camp. So this is her story of her life, essentially, what happened during the war and what happened afterwards and how she came to terms with that. Her story is really inspiring. It's a story I'm already familiar with, but I've never actually read it in her own words, so I've been meaning to read this for a really, really long time. So I really should get on with that. In 7th place, with an average rating of 4.43 out of 134,242 ratings, we have another biography. This is Roots by Alex Haley. I don't really know what this is about. This is one my dad gave me. I think it is about Alex Haley's search for his family's roots, essentially. He goes back through all the generations of his family and finds out where they came from. One of his ancestors was a slave, and so he's tracing his family back to the point where they left Africa. And of all the books on the list, this one actually has the third most ratings. The Hiding Place has the second most ratings of the books on this list currently. So that's one, again, I really should get to at some point, but I'm slightly intimidated by it, I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be quite a hard read, that one. So next, in 6th place with an average rating of 4.45 of 578,854 ratings, we have Wonder by R J Palacio. So this is actually the book with the most ratings on this list. This is a story of a boy with a facial deformity and how he copes with starting school. It was recently been made into a film. Again, it's one that I've really been intending to get to and I haven't got around to yet, as are all of these books. Yeah, so this is one that I'm really looking forward to reading. I've heard really, really good things about it, actually, so it didn't surprise me that this one was on the list. In 5th place with an average rating of 4.47 out of 1,442 ratings, we have Culture of Honour by Danny Silk. So this, of the books on this list, this had the least ratings. This is about church culture and how we can honour each other in that. I've talked about it before. It's on my oldest books on my TBR list as well. So I'm actually going to be reading this one quite soon. I'm just reading another sort of Christian lifestyle book at the moment, and when I finish that one I might go into this one next. Haven't definitely decided yet, but I will be reading this one this year. So with all of these books, this is probably the one I'm going to read soonest, just thinking about it. This one only just made it onto the list really because it just passed the threshold. When I bought this book, it had a really big buzz about it. A lot of people in the church I was at were talking about it, so I bought it and then never got around to reading it, obviously. So yeah, looking forward to reading that one at some point this year. So the top 4 books, actually, books 3 and 4 had the same average rating and books 1 and 2 had the same average rating, so then I've ranked them by the number of ratings as well. So in 4th place with an average rating of 4.54 from a total of 3,682 ratings, we have Sherlock Holmes, the complete novels. I also have the complete collection of short stories, which nearly made the list. Or when I was first looking at doing this, it was going to be on the list, but then it had less than 1,000 ratings. My edition had less than 1,000 ratings. This one made the list, so I have read some of these stories before, but I haven't read this particular edition in its totality. So I've definitely read The Hound of the Baskervilles, and I'm pretty sure I've read A Study in Scarlet, and I may even have read The Sign of Fall, but I haven't read The Valley of Fear. My intention was to read through all the Sherlock Holmes novels and short stories in reading order, so not necessarily in publication order, in the order you're intended to read them. And I think I started doing that and then forgot and stopped. So I am going to do that at some point because I really do. I enjoy the stories. I especially enjoy the short stories, but I do like the novels as well. So at some point I will be reading all of these books and then I'll have read them all, obviously. I really talk a lot of nonsense sometimes. So with an equal rating of 4.54 average rating, but from 37,702 ratings, in 3rd place we have Gemina by Amie, Kaufman and J. Kristoff. This is the second book in the Illuminae files. This one is actually one I am going to try and get to soon because I said I'd lend it to my dad because he enjoyed the first one, but I told him he couldn't read this one until I'd read it. But these are actually really quick reads, so I'm quite looking forward to getting back into this series. I really enjoyed the first book, and spoiler alert, this is not the only one of this series to appear on this list because in 2nd place we have Obsidio! So this has got an average rating on Goodreads of 4.56 from a total of 21,623 ratings. This is the 3rd book in the Illuminae files. They are all YA science fiction novels set in space. The first one is, well, it's kind of to do with an intergalactic war. The first book starts with an attack on a mining colony, and then I think the next 2 follow different characters that are linked to that initial book, but I'm not entirely sure. But I hear nothing but good things about this series, and so I've been meaning to finish it for ages, and I will get onto that and finish that soon. And then finally, the highest rated book on my Goodreads Want to Read shelf, on my Goodreads TBR, with a total of 67,136 ratings, which puts it 4th in my rankings of number of ratings on this list. And with an average rating of 4.56, we have A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. This is the first book in a series called The Mark of the Lion. This is a really, really cheesy cover, which I kind of really love. Francine Rivers is a writer of Christian fiction, generally sort of Christian romancy type novels without any smut in them because they're Christian. So this is a series that's actually set in sort of the early days of the church, so sort of set shortly after the events of the Gospels in the Bible. I've heard really good things about this series. I don't know what the rest of the series are called. I think it's a trilogy, and it's again one that I've been meaning to read for ages, so hopefully getting to that one soon. I feel like I should kind of aim to read all of these this year as I've gone to the effort of making this video, so I might add that one as an extra little challenge for myself. Some of them are ones I've been intending to read soon anyway, so yeah, we'll give that a go. We'll include this as an extra challenge. Can I read these top 10 highest rated books on my Goodreads TBR this year, as well as all the other things I'm intending to read? Maybe not. Check back in 8 months' time to see if I've managed it. So anyway, let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you think of them. What are some really highly rated books that you haven't got around to reading yet? I have loads, obviously, because I have loads of books that I have been meaning to read and have not got around to yet. So yeah, let me know what you think of any of these books if you've read them as well. That would be really helpful to me for helping me to prioritise my reading a little bit. And that's all. Let me know if you want to see more of this type of video. I quite like sort of talking about books I haven't read yet because it intimidates me into feeling like I should read them. This is my life. Yeah, so please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You can reach me on my social media. That information will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!